say there's something called the eye of the tiger. They say the eye of the tiger, the most dangerous thing you ever seen in your whole life.
You are the boss. There it is. Hell yeah, boss.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah. Good
morning and welcome to episode 885 of Hard Factor. It's another What the Fuck Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. We got Mark, Pat, Wes, and I'm Will to talk with you today about what, Mark, and a cup of coffee.
Oh man, we got all sorts of stuff. We're going to talk maybe the best rap diss track of all time. We're going to talk about U.S. women's soccer. We're going to talk about some fun facts, some holidays, and a lot of honorable mentions. We're going to do a lot of honorable mentions and then just a cream of the crop. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. Sounds like an eclectic mix, you know?
Oh, it's all over the place. You got a little bit of something for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice.
Bring the family.
I bet you guys can guess what's in the TikTok international moment, but it's also taking us to international waters beyond what you probably.
Are we talking day one post countdown?
I think it's technically day two, but it's we will.
Okay.
We'll get into
Sophomore.
Ooh, wow.
A little admission there. That's nice.
Oh, well, I don't. We'll get into it. I don't control the window. The window has. We'll get into it.
Yeah, nice. I got a new segment I'm gonna called Colleges for Dummies.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a couple college stories. Yeah,
I love that. And
You can feed
midterms
that. Yeah.
are right around the corner, guys. So I think this is going to be the first, and I wanted to do it with the New Orleans candidate that smoked weed to make a point about marijuana.
We do need to get him on
legal issues. Yeah. I want to talk about that should have been the first candidate we covered this season, but this is going to be the first political candidate of many we're going to do a special deep dive on, and this one is a congressional bad girl.
Oh, our favorite types.
Mm-hmm. Another one.
All
There's
right.
a lot of congressional bad girls out there. She's a state bad girl.
I'm excited to see if this bad girl, stays in the race. It's a great story. It's good enough that I'm wondering.
It's like
what
3
they
or
say
4
about state congressional girls.
Oh yeah, easier.
They're bad.
Less
They're
well
bad.
paid.
Way
They're
easier.
bad.
Way less drive.
There's another one I saw I wanted to get. Did you see the woman that's she's a former stripper, but it was like a long time ago. She's running for political office, and of course, everyone's locking on the fact that she's a stripper.
We've been actually speaking with her, so we've been trying to her and the Louisiana guy. We need to get in touch with.
She's got our vote.
Yes. Wait, guys, what was on the last Hive Hour? I caught up with the pod, but I didn't check out.
The
Hive
Arby's.
Hour.
We talked Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings in 2017. They merged. Arby's bought Buffalo Wild Wings and then turned into a super food group. We talked the history of Arby's, the history of Buffalo Wild Wings, and Buffalo Wings in general, and then the merger and kind of present day
Sounds
fast
delicious.
food. Yeah.
Give a little background on roast beef sandwiches in general, fast casual.
That's right.
Talk some curly fries in there.
We talk
Beef on weck.
Yeah, the most attainable Guinness World Record for us.
That's right. There's the world record for curly fries like 37 inches. And
between 36 and 38, something like that.
We can totally beat that. And we might.
Let's
go
do it.
for it. Yeah.
You just need a gigantic potato and really steady hands.
Look, guys,
Sounds
let's do the fucking news, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
So today is 22322. Not as cool as 22222 on a Tuesday, but if you like a 3 sandwich between double twos and are a big fan of hump day, today's your day. So
yeah,
three's my lucky number.
A homely girl getting double teamed by homelier guys.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a state bad girl day.
Triple 10, really. I mean,
yeah, there's one on one on deck.
There's one on
the hole.
Yeah, the's one who's just in the room.
He's in the hole, but he's not in the hole. But
he's got his ass in her face.
He's not sure about it yet.
Yeah, well, it's the third.
Yeah,
one.
he's gonna hop. It's like double dutch. Just going a little too fast.
It's really like a human.
It's going a little too
centipede.
fast right now. Yeah.
How is it in there?
I'm gonna
watch for now.
I'm gonna hop in a second. But that's not the fun fact, guy. The fun facts of the day are dog biscuits were invented in 1860 by a guy named James Spratt. And did you know that the largest dog biscuit, this is a world record we're not going to beat, weighed 617 pounds and was made by Hampshire Pet Products. That's an impressive
That's
world
nice.
record. Yeah,
That's up there
nice.
with the 800-pound weed brownie.
Yeah, I agree. That's a handful. You got to put that on a truck. You need a couple guys lifting that biscuit. And last biscuit fact, did you know that the dog treat industry is a $3 billion a year industry?
Oh, I would have thought more with the amount I spend on that shit.
I buy it.
Really? You're a sucker.
Yeah, you got a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
So,
Big dogs, too.
I bought
yeah, big dogs eat treats.
soft cat food for the first time today. Went on a run to get a COVID test for Kate. She's like, "Can you get some soft cat food for the the animal that you live with?"
It's called wet food, but yeah, sure.
Whatever. You sneeze all the time. Spork, yeah, that's his name. And
I won't say his name.
they didn't have any packages. Like they didn't have like a pack.
Yeah,
like
a
10 or
box.
12.
A box, yeah.
So I had to get Lucy's soft
Yeah.
cat foods, and it
You got to
really
go to
hammered.
Costco. It
Well, it
gets like-
hammered home to me exactly what a meal for a cat costs because it was like $1.18, $1.18,
Oh no, it's so much cheaper. Pat, you can get the Friskies like 150 pack at Costco for like $7.
Yeah, I
It's
did
insane.
that. I got the Frisky Lucy's from 7-Eleven, and Kate said it wasn't good enough for Spork, so now it's just sitting in the fucking.
We're a fancy feast family over here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you fucked up. All right,
Mike,
holidays.
Mike houses those Friskies. It's insane.
Yeah, the Friskies are good too. They're bigger. Friskies are bigger cans. All right, let's get to holidays. You might be wondering, why is this guy talking about dog biscuits so much? Well, it's International Dog Biscuit Appreciation Day as well as National Dog Biscuit Day. So everyone is celebrating dog biscuits today. It's also Curling is Cool Day, Diesel Engine Day, Inconvenience Yourself Day. I think that is meant to be like step outside the box. Not sure. National Tile Day, Pink Shirt Day, Pinocchio Day. I guess it's a good day to lie. Play Tennis Day, Tootsie Roll. Let me get that Tootsie Roll Day, and World Understanding. And Peace Day.
Also, World Rationalization Day. I like that one
Yeah.
a lot.
Missed
So
that one. Yeah.
today you can do whatever you want and just rationalize it away.
Yeah.
Well, you can inconvenience yourself and rationalize that you did that. Maybe I did inconvenience myself, or
Oh,
if you-
are those competing days?
I think so.
Yeah.
Step outside the box and then rationalize it day.
Right.
That seems like a competition.
You know, no one. I'm really glad it's Diesel Engine Day, and I'll tell you why. It's a cleaner burning engine. It's better for the environment, and also it's more efficient. And a diesel engine, like a solid diesel engine, will last 400,000 or 500,000 miles. And they're really hard to work on. And I feel like the diesel mechanics of this world don't get enough credit about this. The
They are.
specialized.
They are old school. It's like driving stick shift type.
Don't
Yeah.
trucks use diesel?
Yeah, most
some of
I
them.
think.
Yeah,
Diesel.
Get at us,
Yeah.
truck drivers.
but if
They
it was
do.
gas, it would be worse. Well,
1 out of every 4 pumps is a diesel pump.
That's true.
Oh, we'll talk about some gas later. Oh, geez.
Yeah, gassed up over here. All right, today in history, it's a big day for Christianity. Some good and some not so great things happened. Like way back in 303, Roman Emperor Diocletian began his policy of persecuting Christians, which resulted in the destruction of churches and torture of Christians that would not worship Roman gods. So that wasn't a great day.
Didn't like that Christianity back in the Roman times. They were like, well,
No.
he said that we put him on a cross. So no, you're not going to have that religion. No.
Diocletian was the last holdout on like believing in like Zeus and those gods. Like this was the last attempt at Roman gods.
yeah, they should have called it Riskianity back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's yeah. You got the boys in the bathhouse will escape eventually and whisper about you talking about Jesus. So you got to be careful. So that was not great. But Christians had a bounce back year in 1455 when on this day Johannes Gutenberg, ever heard of him? A little guy who invented the printing press, printed his
Wow.
first of many Bibles. He printed the
Look at that.
Bible today.
So what's amazing about Rome was that they pivoted on Jesus and then they became the Holy Roman Empire. How the hell
go big.
do you go
They go
from
big, Will.
crucifying the guy to then becoming the main pusher?
Will, that's how you win. You go
That's a
all
pivot
in.
right
You
there.
go all in right there. Yeah. In
You
15,
you go harder than the people you used to persecute. That's what you
That's
do.
right.
And then you look back and say,
Actually,
hey,
step
they
it up.
atone for their sins. Will.
we love all these people that we just murdered into the ground. We're going to
That's right.
actually now become their biggest champions.
We sent them to heaven, really.
World Rationalization Day, boys.
In 1574, France began the Fifth Holy War. It was the Catholics versus the Protestants. So that wasn't great for Christians because there was Christians on both sides. Lose right there if you're fighting each other. And then that's pretty much it for the Christians. So too bad, one good. The Bible thing was good. 1836, guys, the Battle at the Alamo began. A little close to home. I've been to the Alamo, which is only about an hour or so south of Wes and I currently.
Do you remember it?
And it's small. I do remember how small it is now. I didn't growing up when I saw it in the books, but it is small. I knew Davy Crockett and the boys were brave, but after visiting the Alamo, it was pretty clear they had no chance. They were like Anne Frank stuck in an attic over there,
It's like a poor person's house size.
It is really bad. Now, the Alamos, I mean, to me, they were sitting ducks. The Alamo's about 10 times smaller than I imagined it as a child. And some historians will actually argue that what I'm saying is completely incorrect, and the Alamo is actually too big to defend. And that's why the 500 guys got wrecked by Santa Anna and his Mexican troops. But what they're taking into place is that there was 5 acres of like courtyards in the area around the Alamos, and what happened was basically I think like Santa Anna's troops infiltrated it like the last scene in Scarface when they kind of like surrounded and went in the pool areas and stuff, and then they swarmed the small ass house where the people were holed up in, and it was game over. So I mean, to get a load of this house, it's tiny. You can't have 500 guys in there with rifles. It's shoulder to shoulder. No,
It always looked so huge on Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Remember when Pee-wee went there?
It's not big. It's a house for ants is what it is. Building for ants. But anyways, that's the Alamo. Remember the Alamo, like Will said?
The second story of the Alamo, like if you can touch rim, you can jump through the window on the second story and enter the Alamo if you want to look cool. Entering the Alamo. That's what you can do. That's how short and low to the ground the second story starts at.
I went and I said, "Where's the rest of it?" Out loud.
Was remembering
people
the
like
Alamo,
gasped. They're like,
Did they lose there and then they remembered it to win the rest of the war?
Yes. So apparently Santa Anna was so vicious and like just executed the people and didn't have to, the Texans and the Tejanos, that it was a rallying cry, and the Battle of San Jacinto, we wrecked Santa Anna's ass.
It was the original
payback.
Never Forget. It was,
It was a payback for what happened at the Alamo. Santa Anna crossed the line. He crossed the Rubicon and fucked everyone up in that little tiny house. And it was the
Osama bin Laden is also familiar.
Yeah, he didn't remember. You know what I mean? Anyways,
he's up there right now with all them virgins pissed off. We're talking about it. Sorry, bud.
Whoops. Okay, a couple more. 1896, Tootsie Roll was created. That's why it's Tootsie Roll Day. And in 1940, Walt Disney released the classic film Pinocchio. That's why it's Pinocchio Day. Oh, and lastly, a year ago today, Tiger Woods was driving way too fast on a windy LA road, flipped his car and mangled his legs, but he's fine now.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
He's going to win another major.
Probably. The guy's
Look at that.
resilient.
Wes,
Less
you got
than
to
a
tell
year
us when. Patreon.com/hardfactor. Keep
Wes, who you got for the Honda Classic, Wes?
I think my favorite is Horschel. I'm taking Horschel.
Horschel for the Honda Classic.
You got to
Okay,
tell
there
us
you go.
what major to bet on Tiger. That's a group play.
Yeah, he's got a couple other picks that we're not going to say for free. You got to go to the Discord, like
That's right.
Will said. Patreon.com.
Some long shots,
Factor.
big payouts. But.
Yeah, there you go. All right, honorable mentions. Let's move it along. Russia, Ukraine. The U.S. is adding, wait for it, sanctions against Russia. They're sanctioning some banks over there or something, and Germany has said, fuck your gas pipeline. Fuck that Nord Stream 2, Russia. We don't want your business anymore because of what you're doing in Ukraine. So I don't know what this means. I'm going to kick it over to foreign diplomacy expert Hard Factor Will. What's up with the window?
We got a whole window closing ceremony going on after this. Next segment. So
okay, it's too big
after
for an
the cup
honorable
of
mention.
coffee. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Next, R.I.P. to rapper Lil Durk. Lil Durk. Well, he's not dead, Pat, but he probably wishes he was today. And that's because on Monday night, Lil Durk fired off a diss track to fellow rapper Youngboy, right? And the title was ha 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 ha. That was the title of his diss track. So I guess basically he's
already a burn.
Laughing at Youngboy based on the title. Unfortunately for Lil Durk, Youngboy heard the diss track and then he woke up. You know what I mean? Unfortunately for Lil Durk, Youngboy woke up. You know what I'm saying? And he got to writing and fired back within 24 hours with his own diss track called I Hate Youngboy, kind of like a play on people that hate him. And it's so much better than Lil Durk's diss track that some people are saying it's the best diss track ever, or at least since Nas dropped Ether on Jay-Z.
Wow. That's a strong assertion.
Yeah, and this is all, he wrote it in like 12 hours. Lil Durk didn't even have a day to celebrate his diss track. In the track, Youngboy makes fun of Lil Durk's dead cousin, his fiance, and his dead friend, saying, "Pussy bitch dissing me, mad about his dead homie." Like,
wow.
Yeah, he gets
takes it there.
He gets him. He
Always
also
best to go second in the diss track.
It is always best to go second, right? Because like didn't Tupac go second as well?
I think Ether was second as well.
It's the equivalent of going second in
Hit 'Em Up.
4.
Yeah, Hit 'Em Up is amazing.
Hit 'Em Up is a good diss track.
I'll still work out to Hit 'Em Up today. I mean, that's why
I fucked your wife, you fat motherfucker. He also goes after everyone from several other rappers to the company Apple and YouTube streamers. So Lil Durk messed with the bull and got the horns.
Going after Apple on this shit.
Yeah, a note to self: don't release a diss track against Youngboy. And all right, last honorable mention before we get to the cream of the crop: Aaron Rodgers, soon to be Hall of Fame NFL quarterback. And his weird ass offseason has begun, guys. His weird ass offseason shenanigans has begun early this year, it looks like, as he left a cryptic Instagram post late Monday thanking all his teammates, past and present, for their moments they created that will like transcend time or something goofy like that.
Weird post, yeah.
And then he shared an image of like him and his receivers, and usually he's standing between them on the sideline, but he posted the picture when he was injured and he wasn't there, so it's just like a blank space where he should be. So everyone's like, okay, he's probably either not coming back to Green Bay or he's retiring, right? And I don't know. Maybe it was maybe he's like a world class trollist, or he's Kanye level crazy. I'm not sure, but he did clear it up a little bit yesterday as he went on the Pat McAfee show and explained that his post was not about him retiring. It was about him expressing gratitude, which is the first emotion he felt on Monday after he completed a 12-day cleanse called Panchakarma. And Panchakarma is really, really weird. It sounds like he was in a yurt licking toads with the shaman spirit guide. Here's a tweet explaining the 12 days of Panchakarma. It says, here's the cleanse that Aaron Rodgers recently completed. Step 1, 3 days of ghee therapy. Consume ghee until you evacuated at both ends. You throw up and diarrhea.
Ghee, okay.
Ghee, is that hippie butter?
It's like, clarified butter or something.
Yeah.
Vegan.
1 day of therapeutic vomiting, so someone watches you as you throw up the entire day after you've already been throwing up for 3 days. 1 day of laxative therapy after you've been throwing up and vomiting. 3 days of herb drops and nose. Many days of enemas, and then yoga and meditation after you've got the shits and throw ups
just
out.
Completely clean out the inside of your body.
Everything.
I call that COVID-19, right?
Exactly. So, well, on that track, some commenters.
COVID's not that hardcore. It doesn't clean you out like that.
Some commenters followed up on the internet and said, like No Name said, I can achieve 4 of those 6 steps with a case of Natty Light. And then someone else tweeted and said, just shitting constantly all over the place seems like an accurate description of both this Panchakarma and the Packers in the playoffs this year. Boom. So sorry, I know we got a lot of Packers fans. I know we got a lot of Rodgers fans. Look, I have the utmost respect for him on the field. Think he's probably the best quarterback we've ever seen besides Tom Brady. But he's a fucking also elite tiz, it seems like. Elite level tiz, this guy.
He's really what he would probably describe himself as spiritual. Right?
Yeah, I don't even know if you call him that. He's just weird.
It was like a yoga picture. Next to that, it was a weird post.
His current trend is spiritual. He's just a fucking weirdo.
I'm against the vaccine because I prefer like holistic. He's doing cleaning out your insides, doing like a fake vaccine.
Exactly, Pat. Here's do I have a picture of him playing the guitar? No, I don't have.
She's one of the hippiest hits.
Here, look at this.
Period. There's no one hippier than Shailene Woodley in LA.
Look how cool that vacation looked when he was with Shailene Woodley and that other guy that was in the drumming movie that I always forget, Miles Teller. Look, he can't hold a relationship. He can't even keep a relationship with his parents. It's spirituality for now. It's going to be something else fucking weird in the future. Please don't give him a broadcasting job. He's not one of these guys that needs to be broadcasting after he's retired. He's a fucking weird dude. Anyways, let's move on.
That was an honorable mention.
Yeah,
Mad at
exactly.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God, that guy sucks. Let's move on to the number one story.
You were
of the
just
day.
mad because you wished that he was retiring.
No, I'd love to see him play it. No, I
were
want to see him
hoping that was
throw
a retirement
touchdowns.
throw.
I don't want to see him after he's retired. I want him to shut up and play football. It's like a
Die on the
it's
field.
like a shut up and dribble scenario I have with this guy. Just shut up and throw the ball.
Man, he's so great when he's down a couple points too.
Yeah.
That's just
I hope he
electric
plays-
Nobody
football.
throws spiral
I
like
hope,
that.
I hope he
that's a
plays
nice
another
way to
5-10
spiral.
years.
Wow.
And then just pisses off. All right, let's move on to the number one story of the day.
The cream of the crop!
The U.S. women's national soccer team, the team that was really, really good for a long time, but also kind of annoying with their social justice stuff. I mean, I like social justice. You guys know that. And I'm a big fan of the U.S. women's national team, but I mean, they were really into the off the field stuff the past few years, which is fine, but they were like really into it. You know what I mean?
They took that social justice stuff too far.
a little annoying, right? A little.
I think what happened with them was
too
while
far.
they got really into the activism, their play declined and they didn't win the last gold medal.
Right, that else that happened with his Colin Kaepernick. I'll tell you, he fell off once he started, and it was not the kneeling thing that bothers me.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but they
these
didn't win the
guys,
gold medal.
these ladies make Colin Kaepernick look like a racist with a Confederate flag outside his house. Like, do it like these. They went too far, Pat. They come on.
Way
come
too
on.
far.
Way too far.
I mean,
Come
that's
on.
what old
Did you
racists say
see-
about Colin Kaepernick. But yeah,
You call me a racist? I'm
Did you
not.
see Rapido's hair color the whole
I mean, they went too far, didn't they? Do
Right.
you guys agree? They went a little too far.
Way too far.
They went too far.
Wes is backing you up there.
But either way, those ladies got a big win yesterday. The U.S. women's soccer team players won a $24 million equal pay settlement in its class action lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer Federation. So how it breaks down is U.S. Soccer has agreed to pay a lump sum of $22 million in back pay to the players, and that will be distributed in a manner the players decide they come up with, but it has to be court order approved. So like they get to choose as long as the court's like, yeah, that sounds good. So $22 million decided by the women. The federation will also put $2 million into a fund for the U.S. women's national team players' post-career goals and charitable efforts and stuff like that, which each player will be able to apply for up to $50,000 to give to their charities or their events they want to do. And also going forward, the federation agreed to provide an equal rate of pay between the men's and women's national senior teams in all friendlies and tournaments, including the World Cup. So any U.S. national team match of any kind now is equal pay going forward.
Oh, they're going to take a loss.
See, I don't get that. I know there was a lot of talk about some people saying it might be a pay cut for the women currently, depending on how you slice it up, but I don't think so. When you factor in friendlies and stuff, and either way, it's fair now. So good. Right.
Yeah, but what's not fair is the ratings outside of the World Cup. So I mean, I'm not saying that as they should or shouldn't. I don't know enough. I just know that they do better in the World Cup, so they should be getting paid way more than the men are because we're trash. But friendlies,
they don't. I don't
they're
think
not
they
drawing
get,
eyeballs.
right. I don't think they get better ratings necessarily.
Right. I think
They
they
definitely get. They definitely get better. Well, Pat, you can't really compare it to last World Cup because we weren't in it on the men's side. So
Well, I mean, exactly.
that's better ratings, right there.
I mean,
Zero
you can't
eyeballs
compare
to
those things.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
have
a
to get in the
popularity
World Cup
contest.
to compare.
Yeah.
Which one's more prestigious in women's soccer, the World Cup or the Olympics?
Always the World Cup. Right?
Always the
World Cup. Yeah, by a mile. But they won a lot of both of those things.
Right.
So look, a lawyer for the U.S. Soccer Federation said $24 million is not chump change, but in order to shut up Megan Rapinoe for good, the U.S. Soccer Federation would have paid a lot more.
Yeah, double it.
Yeah, they got off light, honestly, to get her
And-
to quiet down. That's that's
And to hammer that point home, the U.S. Soccer Federation released this meme on Instagram saying, losing a class action lawsuit, $24 million. Not having Megan Rapinoe show up to your office with a hair up her ass, priceless. So, I guess they swiped the MasterCard. Everyone's happy now.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, no,
they get that ad's probably going to get back what they paid.
Exactly. MasterCard is throwing out.
Get
They
this
don't-
purple head broad off my ass.
Yeah. Here's Megan Rapinoe not putting her hand over her chest in the national anthem and stuff. Yeah, she's purple.
Right before they lost the game.
Yeah, whatever. I like the national team, the women's national team. I just, there's a little.
Well, I just thought that it was funny how she particularly kind of crumbled. Her play kind of crumbled at the same time as their activism took off. Her in particular, as that one player,
Well, she's doing too much. She was doing too much. It was more about post career, maybe, but I don't know, whatever. let's
Not
move
even
on.
I like her.
Yeah, see? There you go.
She knows me.
By the way, I fucked up. I wanted to play this. This is you guys want to see what Panchakarma looks like in action? The cleanse?
Yes.
Okay. Here you go. Here's Panchakarma. We can talk over it. No idea. Here's a stadium full of Panchakarma people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man, look at
that. The fighting contest.
Oh my God. Stand by me.
Stand by
oh
me.
my
Yeah.
God. Barfarama.
Yes.
Look at them Panchakarma and everyone. Oh my
So
God.
gross. How many days how many days
12
of consecutive
days.
throw up was that?
3 plus
3.
1 plus 1. So at least 4.
So at least 4 to 5 days
Oh
of
my
throwing
God.
up consistently. How do you do that?
Unbelievable.
Oh man, if you ever get the chance, it's a real treat. If you ever come across Stand By Me on television, watch the Barfarama scene because somehow, I don't know how they did it, somehow they dubbed it to cut the asses out because, they're chanting lard ass, so it's just lard,
right.
lard, 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 lard,
lard.
lard. It's really great. It's pretty interesting.
Lard
Do a
ass.
high too.
I watched it on Not TV 2 days ago, which is what gave me the idea for the Barfarama thing.
Great.
Guys, the cup of coffee is done, and it was sponsored by Stamps.com. As small business owners, and first of all, I'd like to say our small business does not seem small to us, and it's growing every day, but we still can't afford to miss out on opportunities to continue to grow and keep our customers wanting more. Also, our time is our money. We don't want to waste either, like with repeated trips to the post office. So to save time and help us keep our customers wanting more with mailing out promotion winnings, stickers, merch, we got all sorts of mailing things we do. We use stamps.com. And you too can skip the trip and focus on how to take your small business to the next level with stamps.com. It lets you print official postage right from your computer and saves you money in the process so you can spend less time at the post office and more time making your customers happy. For more than 20 years, stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. That's a lot of businesses.
Lots.
Yeah, that's a lot. Stamps.com
So
gives you
convenient. Why can you blame them? I mean,
1 million and growing, right? Stamps.com gives you the access to all the post office and UPS shipping services you need right from your computer. Convenient, like Will said. And how about this? You can get discounts anywhere from up to 40% off USPS rates and 76% off UPS.
wow, it's pretty big.
Yeah,
Incredible.
How did they do it?
that's almost an annoying amount off. It's a rapino amount. And whether you're
advocating for those kind of discounts,
yeah, you would. Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle, Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easier. All you need is a computer and standard printer, no special supplies or equipment. You're up and running in minutes, printing official package for any letter, any package, anywhere. It's official postage for any letter, any package, anywhere you want to send it. Stop overpaying for shipping with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code HARDFACTOR, that's one word, for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code HARDFACTOR.
whew, what a deal. All right, we got the Ukrainian window closing ceremony up next. But first, a word from our other sponsor today, Black Buffalo. I love a high-quality dip as much as the next man. Pack a little lip in the shower while watching the game, maybe. The best, delightful. But these days, I like to get that dip without the guilt by using a tobacco-free alternative like Black Buffalo wintergreen pouches. Those are the ones that I love. Those are my personal favorites. But they have long cut and nicotine-free, all kinds of different flavors, all the traditional flavors and some that you don't even expect. It's dip literally made from edible green leaves and food-grade ingredients with the same flavors, texture, aroma, pack, and nicotine as traditional tobacco products. No compromise required. Born in the Midwest, raised in the South, Black Buffalo is proudly manufactured all their products here in the USA. Don't just take my word for Black Buffalo's quality. They were 2021's Best New Product winner at the CSP Awards and C-Store Decisions Hot New Products Award winner for 2021. Pretty good. I mean, I love Black Buffalo, the pouches, the wintergreen pouches. What are your guys' favorites? What do you like to
The blood orange? You kidding me?
Yeah, I like the blood orange pouches.
I like the wintergreen.
But the pouches, yeah.
Oh, man, but a lot of people are on that blood orange tip. Lots of popular flavors in the lineup. I love Black Buffalo. These guys are amazing. A fantastic tobacco alternative. It's 2022. If you are you still dipping traditional tobacco or those white portion things? If so, and you're 21, it's time to get with Black Buffalo. It's everything you love about dipping, just without the actual tobacco leaf or stem. Head to blackbuffalo.com and use promo code HARDFACTOR at checkout for 25% off your first order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use our promo code HARDFACTOR, all one word, for 25% off your first order. That's promo code HARDFACTOR for 25% off your order. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is addictive chemical. So, beware.
Beautiful.
All right, fellas, you guys know what time it is?
Countdown.
It's time for the TikTok
Window.
International Moment.
That's right, Mark. You guessed it. It's time for that window closing ceremony. Today's TikTok International Moment is going to take us, of course, to the Russian-Ukrainian border and then international waters after that for a little bit more fun one. But since the Russia talk can be a little tense, I wanted to start this segment off with a little icebreaker about, it's just kind of related. As of course.
Beautiful.
If you've played Risk, someone's done that to you.
Oh, yes, they have.
Man.
The game was taking way too long.
Pat's
Friend that isn't into Risk.
In Pat's basement, we had a 3-day long game of Risk going, and one of our friends
Wouldn't call him a friend, Mark.
Well, not after that. Not after that. Smash the board.
Oh, yeah. So that Ukrainian gentleman didn't want to be referred to as a joke there with Kramer, disrespecting Ukraine during Seinfeld about how they could be taken easily in the game of Risk. Unfortunately, this one is not a game. Real this time. It finally happened on day 36 of the imminent invasion window of Russia invading Ukraine, originally announced by the Biden administration on January 18th, 2022. 36 days later, on 2/22/22, President Biden officially closed the imminent invasion window in his speech on Tuesday from the White House. Here's the clip.
Far beyond the steps we and our allies and partners implemented in 2014. And if Russia goes further with this invasion, we stand prepared to go further as with sanctions. Who in the Lord's name does Putin think gives him the right to declare new so-called countries on territory that belong to his neighbors? This is a flagrant violation of international law and demands a firm response from the international community.
There you have it. What gives Putin the right?
Right? Good question.
She's like Michael Scott. What gives you the right?
I don't know the history of how he got into office, but whatever that is, that's the answer to that question.
Well, perhaps the fact that the area that he moved troops into, he's held since 2014. They kind of recently asked to join Russia. But Joe says nobody gives Putin the right. Also, international law in the form of the Minsk agreements, which Russia has now broken, also says Putin doesn't have the right. And I was hopeful, fellas, that my prediction that the window would remain open.
I don't think you were, Will.
I was hopeful, Pat, because I don't want an invasion of Ukraine. I don't want World War III.
You were acting like I'm like, Will, I got cancer, and you're cool for a week, and then afterwards you're like, die of the cancer already, No.
I was hoping that the window would stay open because an open window meant no invasion.
That's what we were all
Ukraine.
saying, and we were confused. But that makes sense now. But that's why I was confused.
And I thought it would, Pat, because I heard VP Kamala Harris say this at the Munich Security Council over the weekend. I thought the window was going to stay open. Here it is.
The context then of the fact that window is still although it is absolutely narrowing, but within the context of a diplomatic path still being open.
Sounded like an open window to me.
So that's a really stupid comment, but are you blaming Biden and Harris? Like, this seems like it's Putin. Putin's doing all this.
No, Mark, I was just documenting what's happening.
It seems like Putin's being a dick more than anything.
Mark, as you heard President Biden say, we're on to the invasion of Ukraine. The window has closed. This is day 2 of the invasion of Ukraine, as described by President Biden.
But even Germany's getting in on it now by not accepting the Nord Stream 2. Like, it's not just U.S. saying it now. It's France. It's Germany.
Correct.
It's not just Putin making Joe look bad.
Yeah, it's none of that.
Well, wait till we get to Trump's quote on that one.
Real quick before we go on that, Kamala Harris is full of dumb fucking things that she keeps saying, but you can spin. Okay, Will, I see where you're coming from kind of on the 36 days, but within a 36-day window of a war that you're not totally responsible for, right? Us, United Nations troops or NATO troops, not U.S. troops, you can spin the narrative. You don't have to be talking about the window 36 days out. Like, what is she doing? Like, you can.
That was actually just one day prior to Joe flipping the script.
So that was 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago. So now, though, we're on to day 2 of the invasion, February 23rd, 2022, which happens to be during the 8th year of the ongoing Russian war on Ukraine, which is escalating to new levels.
Right.
So, raise the Ukrainian insurgent army flags. This is what they'll be flying because here's what escalated.
Those are pretty sick
on
flags.
Tuesday. Yeah, the red and the black is pretty badass. That's their.
Oh, Wes is using his card. He's saying racist.
Many people, Wes, do claim that the Ukrainian war flags can be racist, but they've been flying them. Wes, they've been flying them since they were fighting the Nazis, since they were fighting the Soviets.
Okay.
Well, I want to hear the West. What?
Whoa, yeah. What about it?
Walk us through. Walk us through what's going on in your head.
I mean, have you seen like an old school like Nazi flag, like with the eagle?
It's just missing the eagle. You're saying
the red? Yeah, it's missing the eagle.
Yeah, I get where
the red with the black.
Wes sees the eagle. It's like a magic eye thing, the 3D eye. Wes can see the eagle in that flag.
Listen, I dare you to take that flag and walk down a bad neighborhood in Brooklyn, see what happens to you.
Oof.
All right, but
there you have it.
They're going to be raising those fellas. They're going to be raising those flags in Ukraine, regardless, because that's what they fight under the Ukrainian insurgent army, which is up to 200,000 person, force. Vladimir Putin. But this is what happened on Tuesday to get them to raise the flag. Vladimir Putin got Russian parliamentary approval to use military force outside the separatist-held zone in Ukraine. So he basically got the green light to go off, King. If he feels like it in Ukraine from Russian parliament, which he asked for, and of course they gave. In response to that, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, it's really just Vladimir is how you say it. It's just spelled totally different with 2 O's. Zelensky, he said he's calling
up. Pisses Putin off too, the way
it's 2 Vlads.
The way it's spelled too.
Right, exactly.
It's like a Mark scenario with the
very different Vlads. Yeah.
Very similar to me.
I get it.
I
get it.
You're right, Mark. It is a Mark.
And I don't like Marks with a C, so I understand.
It's a big rivalry. So Vlad Zelensky on the Ukrainian side, he said he's calling up his reservists for a special period, but he ruled out a general army mobilization. He says he's still pursuing diplomatic ways out of the crisis, but stresses that the Ukraine that Ukraine would not. Sorry, it's not the Ukraine. That Ukraine would not cede any territory to Russia. But, here's a language map. You could see the area of separatists is like almost 100% Russian speaking. So we'll just that's just an aside for a future discussion. The U.S. is responding by sending more weapons to Ukraine and also troops to NATO territories. And the U.S. and the U.K. are imposing what they're calling unprecedented sanctions against 7 Russian banks total and some additional Russian oligarchs. But many debate how vicious these sanctions really are, with only one out of 7
They're picking out their chili. They're cherry picking oligarchs.
Yeah, only one out of the 7 banks is even in the top 10
from
Russian
the fucking
banks.
rich countries in the world for the last 20 years in these banks.
Yeah, okay. Well, only one of the top 10 banks.
What business were we doing with them anyways, with these banks?
That's my point.
Yeah.
A lot.
We were?
Yeah. It's a global gas. Yeah, got a lot of gas. Russia's the top 3. And most importantly, Wes, and a little surprisingly to me, after they would only donate helmets to the Ukrainian military, Germany is now holding up the approval of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, gas pipeline, like Mark said.
That's a big one.
And so all of this, of course, is sending the price of gas skyrocketing, with Russia being a top 3 oil and natural gas producer up there with the U.S. and Canada.
We buy a shit ton of gas and oil from Russia.
Yes, everybody
I
does.
don't like our troops having to go over there, and I don't like the gas thing. Those aren't good.
Right.
Positive side, perfect time to hit up an oil and gas buddy for a loan or an investment.
They're going to get some money out of this, because the price of barrels are going up. That is for as long as the Germans hold up the approval of the Nord Stream 2. We'll see. Related, #Trader Trump trended because the Donald praised Putin for quote unquote outsmarting Joe in the Donbass region.
Read the room, Don, not today.
And he seems Donald seems to think that there will be no further military escalation.
I hope not
here. And what would be the truest escalation above the ongoing Russian war on Ukraine, again, been going on since 2014, would be if Putin really makes a move to invade beyond the contact line. We've talked about the contact line in the Donbass region a lot, probably more than you care to hear. But basically the contact line, inside that line, it's like all Russian speakers. Some people want to join Russia. Probably a lot of people don't. But it's a disputed area, and that's what Putin has claimed as his now, or that he wants to incorporate into Russia, and that's where we are. And so it would be a huge escalation if Putin really makes a move to invade beyond the contact line and further towards the Dnieper River, which would potentially include the capital of Kiev.
Right.
And that would
If-
be the absolute
the big
worst
one.
case.
That's the part that, like, for whatever reason, has seemed like there was the banging of the war drums, but the Kiev part, for whatever reason, outside of just Western media, seems to be a little bit more in jeopardy. That would be bad.
Yes.
Oh, it'd be horrible.
Bad,
that would
yeah.
be World War III.
They
right?
would just they would take over all Ukraine, so Ukraine would go away.
Well,
would
they take
become
over
Russia
at least
again.
up to the river, Mark. So
Yeah.
Ukraine's split in half by a river territorially,
Okay.
and Kiev is right on the river, and so Russia would
So
take
they
at
take the
least to the
capital.
river and the capital if they were really going to try to hold,
That would be bad.
most of the country. It would be horrible because the Ukrainians would absolutely resist. It's not like Belarus where everybody thinks they're Russian anyways.
It's not Donetsk anymore. It's Kiev. And now it's
We wouldn't,
Yeah.
but we
that would be
wouldn't put
bad,
our
right?
we wouldn't put our from what I hear, our boots on the ground necessarily until they fucked with a NATO nation. We would back them militarily
what they
by
say
sending
for
them
now.
by sending them tons of gear and weapons.
see,
But
that's the question. Is like it's a conundrum, right? What's
That's
the
what they say
term?
for now.
What's the term? Like hemoglobin, hemoborg, whatever. Like the world power leader that has to be the world power guy. If we don't do anything, Wes, then that makes Russia become the new world power, superpower.
Russia and China, who are allies.
Right. So if you let them take Kiev,
we're not going to let them.
well, I'm just saying.
But I don't know if we're going to necessarily directly inject ourselves.
I don't want that to
on the
happen.
ground,
I don't
right?
want them to take Kiev. I don't want to inject our boys and girls over there. But if you don't, then you kind of pass the torch of being like the world superpower.
Can I point something interesting out? Our last 4 wars were motivated not by the actual reason given for why we went to war. It's just something that fucking happens where they're like, oh, maybe we could take this. Maybe we could seriously
Pat,
benefit.
watch out for false flags all around, right?
Right.
We're saying Russia's going to false flag us into a war. Watch out for false flags all.
It's like playing
around.
Minecraft. You got all these little.
Look, guys, I know we've got a lot of thoughts. It's a very complex issue, but a very noted scholar weighed in on this. You want to hear Cardi B's thoughts?
Yes, thank you. Why didn't you lead with Cardi B? Well,
I actually want to say a lot of things, but I'm just going to mind my business because sometimes I feel like I have such a big platform that if I don't say the right things, I might get killed. But I'm really not on NATO side. I'm really not in Russian side. I'm actually in the citizen side because at the end of the day, the world is having a crisis right now. There's inflation not only in America, but everywhere in the world. It's really hard to get the economy back up. There is so much shipments and embarkments backed up. China's not really messing with us. So a lot of things are behind. A lot of goods are behind. And this shit just made it way more complicated. So I'm just really annoyed by this. And I really wish that all world leaders right now just really come with a logical conclusion. But whatever.
There you go.
Couldn't have said it better.
$40 million woman. She's
Yeah,
who's
I
richer
think,
than
Product do you
Well,
think
all of
she's
us
selling
will
that
be
she's
together
pissed
forever.
about?
Pat, don't be hate. Yeah, don't be.
I think they should. I think that a reasonable solution would be moving towards putting Ukraine in the EU. Personally, but what do I know? I'm just
Nothing will fuck up your product
reading
worse
too
than
much
an
about this.
embarkment.
Yeah, embarkment's tough.
Yeah. Hey, you guys know it's a lot more fun than living next door to Vlad Putin.
anything.
Yeah, almost anything, but especially recovering millions of dollars of luxury vehicles from a burning ship abandoned in international waters. That's right, fellas. The 656-foot, what's it called? Felicity Ace car carrying ship caught fire in the North Atlantic last Wednesday as it carried around 4,000 vehicles, including Porsches, Volkswagens, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, and Audis from Emden, Germany to Davisville, Rhode Island. But once it caught fire, all 22 members aboard the ship were able to safely abandon ship and were rescued by the Portuguese Navy after the fire began. But then the Portuguese Navy have been trying to put out this fire for like a whole fucking week. And the reason for the rare intensity of the fire, it was being kept alive by the lithium ion batteries of all the electric cars on board.
There's some Teslas on board.
No, it was all those other
Yeah.
electric Volkswagens,
Thank God there was no
Porsches,
Tesla.
Polaris.
Blown up.
Audis. No, well, they all have these lithium ion batteries.
Yeah.
That's why Teslas burn so intensely when they get in crash. The good news is that the fire finally seems like it's going out as of Tuesday with tugboats like spraying it down with water. But you can see like,
Man, they got
the
messed
lithium,
up. Yeah.
It melted the entire interior of this fucking ship.
Wow. It was hot. It was hot in there.
They're just gonna sink that thing, huh?
Yeah,
It was
so yeah,
about to.
right. electric vehicles actually ruined the fact that you could have looted this ship.
Weren't there some pirates though in
the
beginning? Wasn't there some piracy or no?
There was so when the law is international waters is that a ship that's abandoned, you would be able to come and just claim it. It's finders keepers. But basically what happened was these lithium ion batteries burnt so hard that nobody wants this fucking thing. It's just trash. So they just gotta tug it somewhere because it melted the entire inside of the ship. So
got too hot.
Yeah. The fucking electric cars ruined.
I can
the piracy
see the
opportunity.
Porsches. I just can't quite get to them.
Terrible.
It's tough.
Jesus, man. Bad day. Well, maybe a great day. Maybe if you have insurance. Usually, when shit like that happens, usually someone's got some sweet insurance. So I took out the insurance. I paid for the extra insurance.
Somebody will make some.
These
money
lithium batteries in these electric cars that just burn forever and so hot remind me of a much greater scale of when the Samsung Galaxy 4 was just burning everyone's face off.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
The exploding Samsung batteries. Yeah.
It's like that, just bigger.
Yep.
You guys want to talk about a bad girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Have you guys ever drank so much that you didn't remember what you did the next day?
We have.
Oh yeah. It's been a while, thankfully, but yeah. I mean, there was a period in my life where it was pretty frequent.
With you, Pat.
Problem is, I only blacked out once in my life, so I remembered everything.
Oh no.
Yeah, it just never happened to me. But I could imagine what it's like because I definitely got as drunk, just remembered the whole thing.
One time I drank a whole box of wine when I was still young and had a lot of energy, and I went out. I blacked out, and I had gone out an entire night that I don't recall.
Right on your feet,
and
standing blackout. Yeah.
And people were like, "What the?" Fuck?
I was doing calculus.
Yeah.
I blacked out a whole jail stay one time.
There you go. Didn't happen.
Like 3 or 4 hours in the drunk tank, I blacked it out.
We used to we had a saying back in the day. It was DRDC. Don't remember, doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
And that wasn't towards sexually abusing women. I want to make that clear. That was towards just being a piece of shit.
Yeah, getting so hammered drunk with your boys that your shirt just comes off.
Yeah, more like harassing each other.
I don't care how many clothes I ruin when I'm hammered. DRDC.
Anyway, forget I asked you guys that. Forget I asked you that.
Let's edit that out. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, it can be tough to be alone on Valentine's Day, right? Yeah, it's a stressful day. I mean, honestly, I don't even think couples that are in love enjoy Valentine's Day much. I think it's really
you got to do something for it.
Yeah, it's more to just remind single people how fucking single they are and how they'll never have children and no one loves them. You know what I mean?
It is a good night though to get laid if you're single though.
It is true, but I don't know. This past Valentine's Day,
DRDC night.
DRDC, Democratic House candidate for the 5th District of Oklahoma, Abby Broyles, she was trying to make the best of it, right? A friend of hers from law school invited her over to help chaperone a sleepover party for her daughter and a group of 12 to 13-year-old girls who were, for some reason, watching the very triggering Valentine's Day film Titanic, but it doesn't matter. Because it wasn't long before the night really went off the rails. And when initially asked about the night in question, Abby had no idea what the reporter who contacted her from non-doc was talking about. So what do you mean? What are you talking about? And that's because she didn't remember the night in question. I'm going to play a little clip here, guys. This is from KFOR, which is a news station in Oklahoma, where Abby once worked as a reporter, and you'll see a little bit more about how Abby's Valentine's Day went.
Candidate Abby Broyles accused of bad behavior at a tween pajama party tonight after reportedly denying even being there.
She was there.
She's telling News 4 her side of the story.
And I don't remember anything until I woke up or came to and I was throwing up in a hamper.
Nobody feels bad.
Abby Broyles is accused of berating middle school girls at a sleepover.
It all happened last Friday at a Valentine's Day gathering among 10 or 11 preteen girls. Broyles was a guest at the party, but something very unexpected happened, and families we spoke with say it ended with disgusting behavior.
It was like an attack, like personal, vicious attack.
And other mothers have corroborated that same story, claiming Broyles arrived at a Valentine's Day sleepover at the invitation of the homeowner. Sarah Matthews, who you just heard, dropped her 12-year-old daughter off with a group of other girls, and she never expected something like this to happen.
She proceeded to tell me that Abby Broyles had been at the house and was very drunk and calling them all MFers and F'ers this, F'er that. vomited all over somebody, called somebody acne effer, somebody Hispanic effer, called my daughter judgy effer for not wanting to sleep with a blanket that she cleaned up wine with.
The mom on the phone told us her daughter was brought to tears, adding that Broyles came to apologize to her daughter that night, but that Broyles was too drunk to talk and instead vomited.
Oh, you catch that last part?
She vomited again on the apology.
While trying to apologize?
She went over to give an apology and
The same night.
Still drunk.
Okay. So, right. She was like, you're a little acne fucker, aren't you? And then Sarah, the mother that you're hearing from, you're going to hear from her again. She's absolutely an annoying piece of shit. Now, should her daughter...
Her kid, I'm sure, is judgy for sure.
Yeah,
she's a judgy fucker.
Judgy as fuck. She's Sarah's daughter.
And I'm sure the acne girl had horrible acne. I mean, she was just a little too honest. And the Hispanic girl is probably Hispanic.
Yeah, she's definitely Hispanic. And I do want to point out, there's lots of people's take that Sarah is going a little bit too hard because I don't think that she's in the same party as Abby. I get that sense. Now, Sarah absolutely has the right to call Abby a piece of shit and ask for an apology.
No, this is pretty bad. Was she the only parent there?
There were two.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's creepy. Why is she there?
So her best friend from law school was like, hey, you're going to be alone for Valentine's Day. I got like 12-year-olds coming over. Why don't you come over and help me chaperone?
Oh, it's like.
But here's what happened, guys. Here's what happened, okay? It's not necessarily Abby's fault, but, well, you be the judge of it. Also, I want you to really point out who she blames the incident on.
24 hours.
Jack Daniels.
There's been a lot of documentation about what happened out there. And from what I've read, that's not the Abby Broyles I worked with at Channel 4. What happened?
She asked me to come over. She asked me to bring some wine. We had wine and sushi. And then a couple hours later, we were upstairs in their theater room watching a movie. For years, I have struggled with stress and anxiety and insomnia.
And alcoholism.
I took the bar exam on 2 hours of sleep. I mean, this is how far this goes back for me. And she knows that. And
she knows that.
She gave me a medication I had never taken before, and I had an adverse reaction. Instead of helping me sleep, I hallucinated, and I don't remember anything until I woke up or came to and I was throwing up in a hamper. I just remember opening my eyes and I had gotten sick in this hamper, and I didn't know where I was.
Her legs are dangling out of it.
Awful experience that I've had.
But you know, there are people out there watching right now saying, come on, she blacked out and doesn't remember. But let me just say this. You were a little girl that age at one time. You remember what it's like in middle school. What would you like to say to those young girls?
I want to say sorry.
Yeah.
So what, Ambien? She's blaming it on Ambien?
Yeah, she said she got roofied by Ambien.
She said she got roofied by her best friend from law school. She straight up said, I want you to follow it with me. Yeah. I have trouble sleeping. It's gone back forever.
And
I even passed the bar on 2 hours.
Yeah.
She knew that. She gave me a cocktail of medications and alcohol.
Time out. So, like, yeah,
they now hate each other.
The only way she can spin this is she's saying, like, that woman was working for the other party.
Yeah,
and that she brought her over, drugged her, and made her look like a goddamn fool in front of the children and everyone. That's the only way she can spin it, which is probably not what happened. She got too drunk, but, like, that's the only way I get why she's trying to spin that. Because
this isn't the first time that that friend has seen Abby Broyles.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's probably 100 people less that can come out. There's 300 people that can come out and say that she's blacked out before.
Exactly.
So, okay.
This is going to be that's where this runs into a roadblock.
A couple interesting points on your points. Okay. The friend did say that she's never seen Abby like this before. Whether that's true or not. Also, there were 2 interviews. So there was Knock Doc, which is like a local independent Oklahoma website that reached out initially, broke the story, right? When the Knock Doc article came out before the KFOR piece, the woman whose home it was wanted to remain anonymous very badly. And when Abby went in to do this second interview, this on-camera interview, the woman whose home it was still wanted to remain anonymous. And right after, I cut it out, but right after Abby threw her under the fucking bus, she goes, look, I was over at Cassidy's house.
She doxed her.
She doxed her, bro. She doxed her.
Look, unacceptable behavior, period.
Well, look. I'm going to read you Sarah, the woman, the mother we heard from. This is her first tweets ever. She signed up for Twitter for this. Sarah says, at Abby Broyles, Since it's been 5 days and you've neglected to reach out to any of the young ladies, open parentheses, 12 and 13-year-olds, including my daughter, close parentheses, you verbally and emotionally abused last weekend, I thought I'd give you a chance to apologize, open parentheses at a minimum here, close parentheses, for someone who pontificates to being undyingly pro-woman. That's how you can tell they're not in the same party. I am disgusted by your behavior and find it appalling that you couldn't understand why parents were so angry. You vile, cruel, and bigoted behavior should not be excused or, quote, swept under the rug. Not only did you scare and traumatize these beautiful girls with your words, you ruined a pair of their shoes with your vomit, which she saved up to buy with her own money.
Oh, no.
At 9?
Yeah. Considering how you bragged about how rich and successful you are to these children, surely you can afford to replace her shoes.
She was bragging about how rich she was while belittling them.
And then she tagged like
acne
15
girl.
She
tagged
added
like news networks.
She added her Republican
rival.
competitor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird. Why would she do that?
That's what people are saying.
It's like
Sarah's going too hard.
Right. Yeah. The lady who's accusing is acting weird now.
But she wasn't. But Sarah wasn't hosting the event. That's not her friend. She was a parent of a daughter that was there.
Yeah, she had the judgy bitch daughter.
And she obviously supports the other person and is very upset with the horrible behavior that occurred. Like, there's no denying that that's terrible behavior to get drunk, throw up in front of kids, belittle them, and throw up in the hamper.
You think that's a bullshit excuse? I bet it is. I'm sure the Ambien.
I'm sure she.
I think she got too
drunk.
drunk.
I think she literally just Ambient herself into an episode.
She might have Ambien herself, but she took the Ambien. I think she knew what drug she was taking, and I think she had way too much wine.
Yeah, I also think that at one point in their relationship, Sarah's husband said to Sarah, "Boy, that Abby sure is pretty."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but also Sarah, and I want to point this out. Sarah is not the friend who's hosting the party. That's Cassidy. Sarah was the bitchy mom.
Yeah.
Sarah's daughter said, "I'm cold," and Abby said, "Here's a towel," and
here's some warm vomit.
Sarah's daughter goes, "Oh no, you use that to clean up wine," and then she goes, "You little judgy fucker."
Yeah. So Abby didn't even know any of these 12-year-olds, right? Outside of maybe her friends.
She knew
her
Cassidy's
friend's
daughter. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So she was just traumatizing 11 strange girls.
She threw one of their shoes. She threw them in the hamper.
She was a tornado. She was like a little tiz all night.
How do they not have any video of this between 12, 13-year-olds?
There is video. There was a TikTok earlier in the night that I tried to find.
It's amazing.
And then that's what all the comments are saying. Like, dude, there's video of this. If this was tweens, this is video.
Exactly.
Well, so yeah, but like that also makes you wonder, like, how out of your mind, like you're either so blacked out, like you've drank like twice what you should, or you literally got because you're not going to yell at a kid otherwise.
You can't even braid your hair, you little fucking idiot.
I've called on 3 occasions someone a cunt to their face, and I wasn't blacked out, but then they slapped me or walked away or were very offended, and I have no idea how I did it or why I did it. Just no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were probably browned out.
Mark was there.
Yeah, I think you've gotten close to the edge, maybe is what it sounds.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm with it. I just remember.
She slapped you back into it, is what she did.
Yeah. You remember that, Mark? That was my family reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Got slapped at your family reunion?
Yeah, my sister, rightfully so.
Oh, nice.
Pat and I used to get in trouble.
Bad boys. Then we'd pop our shirts off, goose each other back in the hotel room.
All right. Last segment of the day, a new segment I'm going to toss around. It's called College is for Dummies. Okay. And I have a quote I'm going to read to you by a guy named John Green, who is an author and a vlogger, whose quote I thought was pretty pertinent to this segment. It says, every year, many, many stupid people graduate from college, and if they can do it, so can you. So there you go. I know that we've got some young listeners out there in college.
Certainly at Michigan State, that's true.
That's right. Michigan State, anyone can graduate. Jesus. So, you might be an idiot, but you can still do it if you're out there, if you're listening.
Wait, how many people go to this school? 50,000. Yeah. It's elite.
And they all got in?
Yeah. So first, let's
Are they all legacies? No,
how many of our freshmen? 40,000.
Will and I were pretty clear about who we were when we went to the second biggest college in the country.
LSU's hilarious because it's like 90% freshmen, or it was at the time when we went there.
They've won once you win national championship, it gets a little harder to get.
They didn't let me back in, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the school's method back in the
Exactly.
day. They let everybody in, and then if you made it past the first year, you could stay.
Michael Vick fucked over so many kids in Virginia. Like,
yeah, he fucked me over for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so first up, let's go to BYU, where a student has displaced 22 people, and cops have given the warning, keep your experiments in the lab, after a ball of fire engulfed a student dorm because this guy was making rocket fuel, homemade rocket fuel in his apartment. So,
for his rocket?
Yeah. No, just
the rocket was to come later, Will. First the fuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's in his apartment and he's cooking on the stove. He's making rocket fuel and the fireball, and then which in turn gave 22 other Mormons the wettest, soaking experience of their lives because the sprinkler system went off and it just flooded everything. So yeah,
the color it turned that kitchen was incredible. I mean,
this is a fire-heavy episode with the lithium batteries and
that's right. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, he must have been cooking meth." And the BYU cops or police department is actually pretty fun, guys. They this is a comment from Jennifer, where she says, "Where I'm from, they call it a meth lab, but rocket fuel is a new one." And then the BYU police department responded, "Unusual as it may be, in this instant, the resident really was mixing up rocket fuel." And then Tegan Lee says, "Isn't anyone asking what the 5 pounds of rocket fuel was going to be powering? Some kind of new rocket powers toilet plunger? And what better a place to try it? A dorm." And then they replied with like this, the police department replied with like a meme of a girl with her eyes really big. So they're having a little fun with it.
It's Nick Kroll from Publicity.
That's Nick Kroll.
Is it? Oh, okay, Nick Kroll. Great. Okay. But side note to this incident has caused a lot of questions in the community, in the Mormon community, because there was people were together, a fire alarm went off. It was an emergency, and some things happened. And I have a little voicemail from a concerned Mormon. He called his buddy to ask him a very serious question because his circumstance of what happened to him during this alarm was very unique. And here it is.
Hey, Gideon, old buddy, old pal. This is Beckett Smith. Hey, boy, do I have a tale for you. So you probably heard, but some numbnuts down the hall in my dorm was cooking up rocket fuel in his kitchen. You believe that? Rocket fuel. And of course, all of a sudden, the dang thing goes up in a big giant fireball. Now, this is Sunday. And on Sundays, Josephine and I like to spend quality time together. And maybe we like to do a little soaking. And maybe while I was laying on top of her, the sprinkler system went off. Now, hey, we were doing it by the book. I wasn't moving an inch. I was just inside of her. We were talking about our future. We were talking about how many kids we wanted to have. She said 10. I said 8. It's a disagreement. Moving past that. Anyway, in the middle of the fire alarm going off, I panic. I'm getting rained on and the fire alarm's going off. So what am I supposed to do? I panic. And here's where it gets crazy. Here's where it gets tricky. In the middle of my panic of jumping off Josephine, I accidentally thrust inside of her vagina really hard, really hard. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if I'm going to hell. I don't know what to do about it, but I figured you're my best pal. I figured I could tell you about it. So, hey, give me a call back. I need some advice. Josephine's pretty upset, to say the least, but I'm hoping we can work through it with your advice. Thank you so much, Gideon. And hey, as always, Gideon, if there's absolutely anything I can do for you, your family, do not hesitate to call. Okay? I mean that. Okay, Gideon, you have a great day, and thank you so much.
They sound like great friends.
Yeah, they are. They're really good friends.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's happening a lot in this particular dorm. Is a lot of soaking was going on, and people panicked, and they may have accidentally thrust inside of their.
Gideon's a listener, right? He sent that one in.
Yes.
We're doing it by the book. We didn't even have any rockers. Okay, there weren't rockers out there.
Yeah, there was no one rocking the bed. Now, what if some of these people shot?
Right.
A couple months from now, 3, 4, 5 months from now, if some of these
what if the
BYU checks are showing?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not their fault, really. They were startled.
It's the rocket fuel guy.
Yeah. Now, criminal charges.
That'd be hilarious if it led to a string of
pregnancies. Yeah. The whole 4th floor is pregnant.
Yeah.
Man, I love how we all saw this story today, and it's good. But you did some deep journalism here. This is kudos, man. This is awesome.
Thank you.
That's what we do.
Okay,
this is what we fucking do.
yeah. It was a big thing over there. Moving on, one more story. Let's go to a different kind of dumb. Let's go to Massachusetts dumb. I want you to meet 24-year-old.
Talk about blacking out.
Yeah, really.
Massachusetts.
24-year-old college student from Worcester State, biology major, Anthony Abraham. Now, from the looks of it, what do you guys think he's really into, guys?
Right.
Anime porn.
Terrariums, yeah.
Terrariums, okay.
Yeah,
anime porn.
Some kind of thing where he does ant farms, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he is a biology major, so that is good. Well,
removing the legs from animals. Yeah.
Well, wait till you hear what he's really into.
Look, I remove legs from animals just like that. Every other man, one at a time.
Anthony's actually really into
wings up inside.
That's exactly it.
This is a windfall for society that this happened to Anthony, because he drew attention to himself before stuff really got hairy. What he's really into is tigers and violins, and probably killing a bunch of people if they don't get him some help. As
samurai swords, throwing stars.
What does he have, an orchestra with tigers?
He's in trouble for trying to, quote unquote, break into the tiger cage at the Franklin Park Zoo. And wait till you hear his response to the news story when they confronted him in his house. Here it is.
This case calls this a misunderstanding. He says he never intended to get close to the tiger. He also says he thought the zoo was open at the time, though he admits to not paying admission. Tonight, he's facing misdemeanor charges.
Say there's something called the eye of the tiger. They say the eye of the tiger, the most dangerous thing you ever seen in your whole life.
24-year-old Matthew Abraham, a biology major at Worcester State, is charged with trespassing and disorderly conduct for allegedly attempting to access the tiger enclosure this morning at Franklin Park Zoo. This is Sky 5 video from after the incident, showing the tiger, Anala, unharmed.
You talked about this eye of the tiger thing. Was it your intention to get close enough so that you could look directly into the tiger's eye?
Yes. They say that the soul is visible through the eye.
According to Zoo New England, at about 8:45 a.m. at Franklin Park Zoo, an unknown male was seen in an outdoor, non-public area behind the tiger exhibit. When first seen by staff and approached, he climbed over a gate and quickly exited the area. State police arrested Matthew Abraham right after that. He was later released. Abraham's defense is that he was not trespassing, just spectating.
The gates were open. I walked through the gates, and they closed that gate on me.
Again, no zoo animals or humans were injured today. State police say that Matthew Abraham has been ordered to appear in Dorchester District Court for his arraignment. That will likely happen tomorrow.
He's going to give the eye of the tiger spiel to the judge.
Yeah. He also finished that interview saying, "If you don't get off my property, I'm going to wear your face on a cross-country road trip."
I was thinking, like, who's the worst possible candidate for a neighbor when you're moving into a new house with a child?
The guy that holds a violin against his body at all times.
That guy's the worst.
When that guy introduces himself, you're out. You're selling the house.
He was like, I went to go see the tiger because I thought maybe some things I've done I deserved to be eaten by a tiger, but instead, let me go.
I tried to bare my soul to the tiger to see the eye of the tiger.
So luckily they got him into court right away, the very next day, because they just needed to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Are we inconveniencing you, Anthony? Do you have a recital going on, or what's with the violin?
Are you about to play to your imaginary audience, Anthony, again? You're going to put on another orchestra?
Oh, man, I love how he looked around before he answered where the true eye of the tiger was.
Oh, yeah.
He looked left and looked right, and he goes, "Yeah, it's their soul.
You want to come in? I'll make jerky out of you." Yeah, he's in trouble. So that's the segment. College is for dummies. Anthony's a dummy. He's also a psycho, and that's it for today's episode. I do believe we have to spin the wheel, though.
Wheel.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk during this part too.
I got one coming. I got
now it's no. There's no one. There's no. Noise.
I got a wheel coming right now. Right here.
Comes the wheel.
Right here. Right now. Right here it is. Look at this wheel. I just had to have this wheel hiding.
Must have just
playing around. Here it is.
Weirdo's playing the violin again next door.
There it is. Cup of coffee in the big tub.
At least we know he's home. It's not in our house.
Yeah.
There's some things I want to show you inside.
Oh, it's bad. I thought Mark was going to get the double down.
3 out of 4. Well, I had it Friday too.
Oh wow! Look at this.
Just escaped it.
Pat's on cup of coffee. Who is the TikTok international moment?
It's spinning.
It's looking like a Wes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a Wes.
I'll
It's
take
a Wes special.
I'll take it. All right. Well, that is going to do it. We love you. Have a great fucking day.